Hello everyone and welcome to another video. In this video I will be showcasing my favorite Open Great League team from this season, consisting of Galarian Stunfisk, Medicham Safe Swap and Shadow Charizard, of course. This team has kept me consistently in the top 100 in the world for the past 2.5 weeks, and it's got me as high as number 12 in the world as well, which is one of the highest positions I've ever had on the Go Battle League leaderboard. The way the team works is you have a very solid team, like you can cover pretty much everything with it, and you can have a good response to pretty much every save swap, although Sableye is a bit tough. And even if you end up getting RPS'd, you still have the opportunity to just try and set up the Shadow Charizard as a closer. Jumping right into the first game, we lead Stunfisk into a Registeel, and this is where I must admit that I am pretty sure what the team is going to be, so I'm playing very much into that, because there's this team that I think Jason 2890 made, consisting of Registeel, Medicham and Bastion, so I pretty much have to win switch and just keep my Stunfisk, like not swap out. He ends up zap cannoning me in the beginning, and I'm not really sure why, but that's okay. Here again, I'm just pretty much hard calling that Bastion in the back, so I just have to stay in to get my Medicham on the Bastion and keep alignment. He actually shields. I think he is expecting me to be weak to Medicham because I'm staying in, but I'm just doing it because I want to keep alignment, and I'm just going to sweep with Medicham now. Perfect. And yeah, I don't know why he's not quitting, but whatever. I'm just gonna farm him all the way down, easy peasy, and that's when he quits. Into the next game, we lead Stunfisk into Medicham, and this is tough, so we swap in our own Medicham, and he stays in, which is good initially. Throws the Psychic, and then swaps into a Alolan Ninetales with Powder Snow, which is an important detail. We see he goes 2 over before throwing the Weather Ball, so he's at 2 Powder Snows now. I bring in Stunfisk, and instead of throwing my Rock Slide before his next Weather Ball, this is a very cool trick, I think. I just take another Weather Ball, because now he's dry, then I save all the energy on my Stunfisk because it can come in use later, and then I farm him down with Charizard instead. And he just about doesn't get to another move. But then in comes Altaria, which is very uncomfortable. You do have a lot of pressure with Shadow Charizard because Dragon Claw just does so much, but the Dragon Breath damage is just so hard hitting. And I have to shield here, I feel, because I really want the wing attack damage on the Medicham, or get a shield. Getting a shield would be very nice too, but I don't. So I get in some wing attack, and I actually put it into a range where I think Mudshot plus Earthquake might KO. And I think I make a bit of a misplay. I bait. I think I might be able to get to 2 Earthquakes, and he calls the bait, which is so rough. That's this game pretty much. In the next game, we lead Stunfisk into Lanturn, and it's a Sparkle Lanturn, which is really good. Stunfisk can win this in all even shield scenarios, going straight Earthquake, so I don't have any reason to bait. But Lanturns do like to try and catch a move. Like they often have a Noctowl on the back, and they usually try to catch a Rock Slide. So you need to be very aware of that, and like stop before every Earthquake to throw in the middle of their fast move. And I like to bait the second one because people don't like to go down 2 shields without winning switch, so they usually shield the second one. You can just go straight Earthquake, but then you have to use both your shields to win this matchup. You see, I'm really expecting, there it is, the Noctowl. And here I come in Medicham. The reason why I come in Medicham is because he is probably not going to be very strong against Charizard in the back when he has Lanturn in the lead. And Medicham can actually win this, which is wild. I did also land a Rock Slide. And he brings back in the Lanturn, throws, I think he's 1 over, if I remember correctly. I didn't count just now, but I did count in the game. And I don't know why I'm not throwing there, but it's fine. And I would have lost CMP anyways. This is a fine range for Charizard to take it out. So just save the shield for Charizard, over farm a lot, and then yeah, it doesn't really matter what's in the back. Yeah, he tries to catch an Alolan Ninetales, and yeah, I just farm up to 2 Blast Burns then, and that's fine. Because a Blast Burn still does so much damage to a Lanturn, even though it's a water type. So, nice win. Next game, Stunfisk into Toxapex. And I've seen this a couple of times, and it's actually pretty difficult, because it's often double Ghost, and I don't really have a response to Sableye. My best response is Charizard. You can win this just straight Dragon Claw in the 2 shields, I think. So I just want to make sure I win it. And because he's over farming, I feel like I can safely throw a bait, like another bait. But it's often Trevenant in the back. So I have to get creative with how I want to play this. Which is why I swap out to Stunfisk now. Medicham can beat Toxapex in the 0 shields, so I really want to use Stunfisk to lure out the Trevenant. Because I don't want the Trevenant on my Medicham, obviously. This is a better matchup, although it's also a pretty bad matchup. Throws the Shadow Ball. And I go for the Earthquake. It does more damage, it is resisted, but it does more damage, and I'm not expecting that he will allow me to get to 2 Rock Slides. So now I just put him in a comfortable farm range, and I don't know why he doesn't throw there. I think I would have still won. But yeah, now I get the Earthquake, and as I said, Medicham can win the 0 shields against Toxapex, especially when you've landed an Earthquake. Going into the next game, we lead into Deoxys. A lot of teams that lead Deoxys are weak to Medicham in the back, so I'm kind of hoping that will be the case here. I'll just stay in. This is actually a good matchup for Stunfisk, despite the fact that Deoxys does super effective damage with counters. And usually if you have a really good Stunfisk, you can come out with a move as well, because this Rock Slide doesn't KO. So they get to another Psycho boost, but they're so deep after this point that it's just going to do nothing. So you can actually much shut it down and come out with a move. And they bring in Stunfisks. I try to get to the Earthquake. Can't. Bring in the Medicham. And then there's an Alolan Ninetales in the back with Charm. And I think he's going to expect me to bait, because he has 2 shields. So I just go straight for it. And I land it. And that's game. Yeah, he concedes. Next game, Stunfisk into Tapu Fini. This is like the core breaker. Tapu Fini Azumarill, there's not a lot you can do. You have to just play it risky and tricky and try and pull off a lot of different moves. I hope I can land an Earthquake here. Otherwise it's very difficult. He shields it. Obviously he is realizing I'm very weak to Tapu Fini since I'm staying in. So I swap in Medicham now, and he swaps in Cresselia, and it goes from bad to horrific. Yikes. This is also a very bad matchup. I have to find some way to try and take out that Tapu Fini. And he actually, I'm not sure I like this. He undercharges the Grass Knot, so I bank the Psychic and swap in my Stunfisk. I don't think I can get to the Earthquake, so I go for the Rock Slide instead, just to get some chip. And then I pray that he'll let the Psychic go. It's my only win con. And he does not. I almost pulled out some magic. It's still not over, but yeah, these water guns are just doing so much damage. Can I? I think I've decided to like try and farm it down because the Cresselia also has a lot of energy in the back. I have to be aware, like throw the blast burn when the Cresselia comes in, but yeah, he swaps it and I don't get to throw my blast burn. He takes me out. Very, very tough match, but I almost pulled out some magic there, which would have been very cool. And in the very next game, there's another Tapu Fini. Yikes. But this time I played a little differently. Because, well, he is, as the last person too, aware that I'm very weak to Tapu Fini since I'm staying in. So I'm expecting him to shield, which he does. Now I have a shield advantage, can bring in the Medicham. And he stays in. This was not enough for a Moonblast, I don't think. If I was counting correctly. Which I might not have. But still, you just have to take some risks against the Tapu Fini indeed. Otherwise, yeah, you're not gonna win. So I no shield the Surf. I get to my Psychic. This time I obviously have to shield, because otherwise he would take me out. And he brings in Gliscor. Which, I mean, Ice Punch just hurts a lot here. It's a bit weird. And he gets to 7 wing attacks, meaning he is 2 away from back-to-back Night Slashes. I tank the energy on my Stunfisk and hope I can farm him down with Charizard without taking a move, which I just about can. He also got the boost. I think it's Stunfisk in the back, because that's a team that I think Paulasha made popular, or created. It's a very common, not that common, but it is a team that I've seen before with Tapu Fini, Gliscor, Stunfisk. And it is. And up a shield. Yeah, Stunfisk can't do much against Charizard. So I actually beat its Tapu Fini lead. Yeah. Against any type of ghost lead, you just have to stay in. Even though this is a bad matchup for Stunfisk, it's an even worse matchup for Medicham. So you kind of need to at least put it in a range where you can handle it. And throw my second Rock Slide. If they shield the second Rock Slide, it's usually because they're playing ABB with like a Bastiodon in the back. So I bring in my Sap to sacrifice it. And now my plan is that my Medicham can sweep, just farm this down and get a lot of energy. And then it's usually something else weak to Medicham as well. And if I have a lot of energy, because he only has 1 shield, I can also threaten the Trevenant. That's my favorite way of playing against this team. I think it's a Caleb Peng team. If you ever run into it, I throw my Ice Punch straight away and he brings in Wall Raid. Might have gotten a bit too eager. I kind of have to shield everything at this point, which is a little uncomfortable. Because the Trevenant also has quite a bit of energy. Throw the Psychic, he shields it. And I sack my Stunfisk. Nice. I'm not sure it was necessary. I also had the opportunity to get to a move on my Stunfisk, which could have won me the game, but this is also a cool way of winning it. I throw the Psychic and Trevenant. I wasn't entirely sure. I couldn't quite remember how much health it had. Ice Punch would have been enough, but yeah. We end up getting a 3-2 in that set, These were some highlights, some of the better games. I didn't show all of my games, obviously. Get to 3384 rating, which is enough to bring me back up to I think 70th in the world after a bit of a downturn. That was the last battle, but before you leave, I just want to finish off with a fun fact of the day. And this is something that I want to try and do every video that I make, finish with a fun fact, being like a different way you can win a matchup or something you might not be aware of within the primarily the Open Great League meta. And this one is a bit of an obscure one, and it might just make your Lanturn Stunfisk matchup change and your opinion on whether to have a bulky Lanturn change. Because Lanturn can get a Spark Breakpoint on Galarian Stunfisk, which allows it to win the 2-shield matchup if the Stunfisk goes straight Earthquake. The thing is, Stunfisk is pretty much always going to go straight Earthquake. If we take a look here at a Lanturn, a very good Lanturn, like a really bulky Lanturn, which most of you probably have, and then a very good Stunfisk, which I would say is probably roughly the IVs that most people have, and they go straight Earthquake, you go straight Surf, you lose that matchup in the 2 shields. And it comes out with like 17 HP, the Stunfisk. But if we go down here, that's because every Spark only does 1 HP of damage. If you get a bit more attack, and I'm talking like a little bit more, not really all that much, you can get a Spark to do 2 damage per Spark, which means every fast move is going to do 1 more damage. So if we try and change this to like 5 attack in the 2 shield, you actually win this matchup. Not only do you win it, but look at this rating, this battle rating. You win it like big time. This does require the Stunfisk to go straight Earthquake, but most Stunfisk do, because they don't think Lanturn has a shot in hell of winning this matchup. So just something to keep in mind. But that is all from me this time, so I just want to say thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.